It's corporate protectionism. I think it's even bigger than that. It's corporate capture. Denmark is the only country on earth so far to be dumb enough to mandate this be fed to cows. Even the UK is starting to back off of this. Congratulations, Danish farmers. You are now the global test herd. The company, Bovaer, is claiming, hey, we have tested this for 15 years. But if you really want to get into it, that 15 years of tests involves a few month or 2 month long studies. Not that these tests aren't done very long. They're done with controlled lab food, lots of controls put in place. That cow is not in a stressful environment. It's not out with the rest of a herd. I mean, there are natural social stresses with animals being within a herd. Those cows aren't exposed to any of that. They're not exposed to, the changes in silage with the changes of season, which changes the food composition going into their body. Remember, they're given just this straight lab food. These aren't real tests. The Danish farmers are the real test. And so far, it looks like it's failing. Call it coincidence all you want to. Now, I've heard a lot of people think that Bill Gates is behind this giant experiment of Danish farmers and their cows. He's actually not. He's running his own experiments with Ruminate out in Australia. From Bill Gates' perspective, he's a smart guy. Australia is a much larger cattle market. If you could get a product passed in Australia and then mandated, imagine the profits there. Suddenly, saving the planet becomes $1 trillion market for billionaires. It's a perfect playground. I mean, it's awesome. Now, Ruminate is similar to Bovaer in many ways, but it's a little different. So Ruminate is focused kind of on the properties of seaweed. There are actually companies that produce seaweed feed and give it to cows, but that's really expensive. So what Bill Gates has done, just like he does with everything else, is he's figured out a way to make a synthetic form of the chemicals that are supposedly in seaweed that cause this reduction of methane when the cows eat it. So again, he's creating a synthetic chemical that he's putting into it. They're labeling it as, it comes from seaweed. It does not. They're not harvesting seaweed and feeding it to cows. That's not how it works. This is a lab-created synthetic chemical that they're then feeding to cows. But imagine getting a mandate for Ruminate in Australia. All cows have to eat this to save the planet. $1 trillion industry. Way to go, Captain Planet. Livestock here have become the lab rats. Farmers have become the enforcers, unwillingly, and the financiers. They're the ones paying for it all. And the climate crisis is the public sales pitch. They're greenwashing you into making some massive corporate products that, like I said, they're starting to get mandated. No other choice. You've got to use Bovaer. Now, a lot of small farmers, they can't afford these chemical additives. They can't afford carbon credit audits. This direction is going to shut down small farms, not just in the U.S. You can consider the small dairyman gone, but in Europe, all around the world. And so what it actually ends up looking like in the future is massive consolidation by giant corporations that are waving a green flag saying, look at what we did. We destroyed your food supply. We took complete control over it. And now we're putting chemicals in your food from the very beginning. That's not sustainability.